WRTC, the Worldwide Radiosport Team Championship, I think I got that right, WRTC of 2023, which was delayed from 2022, was won by the Ukrainian team. And I got to sit down with Yuri and Yorick about their team, about what they did to win the contest, and all about WRTC in general, so check this out. You guys were the Ukrainian team at WRTC, which is the Worldwide Radiosport Team Challenge. If I got that accurate. Championship. Okay, championship. And you guys won the whole thing this year. So
Correct.
Thank you for taking the time out to come on to the show and talk about WRTC 2023, which was in Italy. What part of Italy was it in?
Okay, it's our pleasure to be
Go ahead.
the guest on your channel, and it was in Bologna, or I would say in
right.
Reggio Emilia area of Italy.
Okay. Well, Yuri and Yorick, thank you for taking the time out today. Yeah, each of you can introduce yourselves real quick, and I'll just give you like a couple of minutes to do that, and then we'll just kind of dive into it. So, Yuri, you go ahead and go first.
Okay, I'm the oldest member of our two-man team. So I became ham at the age of 13, and I participated in 7 previous WRTCs. I only missed the first one in 1990, which was in Seattle. It wasn't really a WRTC back then. It was a part of the Goodwill Games that was organized to promote relationship between US and Soviet Union back then. But starting with 96, I was a part of each WRTC as a competitor. So my main interest in ham radio obviously is contesting, DXing, and building some antennas, stuff like that. So now Yarick.
Good. Okay, Yarick, you go ahead.
Okay, I'm since in ham radio in 2000, and it's for me second WRTC. The first WRTC for me it's in Germany in 2018, and this is my second in Italy. And I start contesting maybe in 2002 when I learned CW, and I start contesting, and after 20 years I win WRTC HI. And I like in ham radio, it's contesting, the first. The second is radio electronics develop and design, and DXing also for me it's good in ham radio. My favorite is CW, only CW. I don't like FT8, but I work on 88.
Good. Well, so the WRTC contest, is it almost? I mean, can you do FT8 in this contest, or is it CW and sideband only, or how does that work?
Sideband only.
CW and sideband only. That's
the same rules like in IRU contest.
Okay. All right. I thought that was true, but I wasn't sure. So okay, for the audience just to clarify for the audience, good. Okay. So each of you have experience with this specific contest before, and how many teams were there total this year?
This year we had 58 teams.
Wow.
Yeah. Usually it's even more than 60. It varies from 60 to 62, even 65. But
okay.
Italians had some difficulties organizing this past event. First, obviously, because of the COVID, and that's why the event was postponed 1 year. So if you look at all the logos and everything, it says WRTC 2022.
Right.
But in fact, it was held in 2023. And of course, the war and Russian aggression against Ukraine also played negative role in that. And on top of that, Italians had very huge flooding in that very area just 2 months before the event. That's why they secured a lot of sites for the competitors, but some of them were flooded, and then they had to find replacements in emergency. So that probably reduced a number of teams a little bit too. But yes, 58 is still a huge amount.
Right. And considering it's 2 people per team, that's like what's that, 116 people? That's crazy.
Yeah, so, and that's only the competitors, because each team should have also a referee, which also 58 referees.
Wow. 58 times 3. Okay. All right. Yeah. And how close are all the teams to one another? Because I know you're basically in the same area, but they try to separate everybody, within, is it all in the same, all in Bologna, or all, within a couple of kilometers of one another, or how does that work?
Well, initially, starting from 2010 WRTC, all the teams were in the tents in the field. So it would look like 100% field day type. Same antennas, same coax, same tents, and more or less in the same area. Because at the previous WRTC, the teams were separated to as low as 150 meters. Okay. But this time, because of the event I already talked, Italians had to refuse that idea to put teams in the tents, and they secured so-called countryside B&Bs, which they call agriturismo, bed and breakfast. It's like a small hotel in the middle of nowhere, literally. And so the geography was a little bit spread to north and south. I would say in the radius of 120 kilometers. But Reggio Emilia is known to be a very flat area, so more or less every team was in the same kind of conditions, same locations.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to get them too far apart because conditions can change, I guess. So
yes, good. That's true. That's one of the reasons. Yes.
Right. And WRTC takes place every 4 years, if I'm correct on that. And it was, like you said, it was supposed to be last year, but it was postponed to this year. So the next one would be scheduled normally for 2026. Do you know if they're gonna do that in 2026, just 3 years from now, or are they gonna go 4 years since you were delayed this year? Have you heard about that?
No. Yes, it's already decided and approved by so-called WRTC sanctioning committee, and it was announced, and it's on the website now that next one would be in 2026 in England.
In England, okay.
Correct.
Okay. Good. You guys are planning to participate in that one also, I assume.
Yes, because as the previous winners, we will be invited automatically, so we don't have to qualify anymore.
Good. Well, hey, that's great. Okay. Well, tell me about your radio setup. I think you said that everybody was using the same antenna and the same coax, and I know that Mezzi and Plomi coax. Stefano over there in Italy, he was a sponsor this year. I talked to him fairly regularly. But what intent? If everyone was using the same type of antennas, does everyone use the same radio as well, or how does all that work and be put together?
No. As for the radios, everyone could choose their favorite radio. Okay. The only limit was that the radio should be limited to 100 watts output. Okay.
Yeah.
So even if you're using 200 watts radio, the referee should monitor the output power. Every team was supplied with some kind of indicator that would it actually has 3 LEDs, and the referee should be monitoring so that your LED would not turn red,
Gotcha.
which means
Gotcha.
it's a bit over 100 watts. Other
Right.
than that, it was a great variety of different radios. We used a pair of Elecraft K3s because they're pretty decent radios for both CW and sideband, and the most important, they're very lightweight. So if you travel, that's probably number one advantage. And as for some other accessories, I let Yarik tell about that.
Okay.
I'm the technical in our team, and I know everything about our equipment, what we use. We use 2K3, and also we have one K3 for spare, and we use also PAN adapter, the Elecraft P3 PAN adapter use Yuri when work, and I'm use as SDR receiver with small PCB add to the K3 for use SDR receiver like PAN adapter. I'm use RSPA1 SDR. Also, we use the filter set 80, 40, 20, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters. Also, triplexer by VS6 AM. And we use a switcher by double L. This is a 2 to 6 switch. And also we use spatial design by myself, the band decoders, full automatically band decoder for K3. We use this band decoders. Also, we use 2 laptops with extra monitors. Special thanks to IK4 Victor Echo Tango, Andrea, who helped us with these monitors and give for us in Italy. And also, I think that's all equipment. We have all equipment for spare.
Yeah. Let me add a little bit to that. Having properly working antenna was very important, and initially Rig Expert, our Ukrainian company, which was also our main sponsor, they supplied Rig Expert antenna analyzers to organizers to tune the antenna. So while we didn't use Rig Experts directly in our operation, but Rig Expert antenna analyzers were used to tune all the antennas on the sides. So that was also a part of like very important part of the preparation. And as Yarik mentioned, having spares of everything was our part of our success, because to be honest, one of our main radios failed just 2 hours before the contest, but we had a spare, and Yarik could quickly substitute it. So Yarik is kind of our technical brain of the team, I would say.
Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, having a backup is always a good idea. What antennas are you using? Homemade antennas that you guys built yourselves, or were you using something commercial?
No, because one of the very important and obligatory rules was that everybody use same antenna, not just the similar, but same. So the antennas had to be supplied by some company that would make same antennas. So this time, as far as I remember, the antennas were supplied by a Bulgarian company, LZ Antennas, and it was a Yagi, tri-band Yagi fed with a single coax. That was also the requirement because each team would use a triplexer. This is the device that allows you to receive and transmit simultaneously on any two of three available bands using just one coax coming from the antenna. That's why we had a triplexer and a set of bandpass filters. And that antenna consisted of two elements for 20, two elements for 15, and I believe three or two elements for 10. So it's a small tri-bander, but it worked amazingly considering its size, and so we were happy with that antenna.
Good. I'll have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with that brand, but yeah, we use triplexers on our hex beams when we're at field day over here. So
right,
for 10, 15, and 20 meters primarily. So I'm very familiar with that setup, and it sounds like it worked very, very well for you guys. Okay. So were you both operating at the same time, or would you take turns, or how did, I mean, obviously you have bandpass filters, so you can operate at the same time. And is the contest 24 hours, 48 hours? How is all that put together?
Well, yes, the contest lasts 24 hours. Okay. And since 2010, or maybe I'm mistaken, since 2014, WRTC in Boston, the rules have changed for us, for the competitors on site. So we would now need to operate in multi-2, which means there are two guys operating 24 hours without any limitations. All we needed to do is just to decide which band, which mode we use. But unlike the first WRTC, where only one transmit signal was allowed, and the other guy would kind of, be on duty or helping with multipliers or something else. But now it's a 24-hour event for both guys. So now the team, in order to win, needs to have two good ops who
don't mind staying awake for 24 hours, right?
Yeah, and even pardon me saying that, even how many times you go to bathroom would count too.
Right. Yeah. You got to drink less water so you don't have to get up and pee so much, right? So,
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So yeah, that made me think of another question real quick, and I kind of. So you said you had two laptops. What logging software were you using to keep all your, to log all your contacts and keep track of your multipliers?
Yeah, we used N1MM logging software, but it was not. There was no limitation. Like teams were using different logging software. The most popular ones were N1MM, DXlog, and WinTest.
Good. That's a very popular question. Every time we start talking about contesting or something on a YouTube video, people always want to know what kind of logging software they're using. So it's kind of become a running joke nowadays. But yeah, good. Yeah, I'm very familiar with N1MM and DXlog. I think you said WinTest. I'm not familiar with that one, but
WinTest, right?
Yeah. Okay, I haven't heard of that one, but I'll have to go look that up. Good. Well, what were some of the challenges you guys faced? I mean, did you have any problems with weather? Did you have any problems with, like storms and high winds or something like that? Or you said one of your radios failed on you, so you had to use the backup about 2 hours before the event started. So I assume that the other two worked fine throughout the whole thing. And tell me about that from that perspective a little bit.
Well, we were one of the last team on the roster, and we had very little time to prepare. Some teams, they already knew that they were going, probably at least a couple of years before the event. Some of them, they even traveled to Italy to participate in that very same contest, just to get the feel of how the propagation would be, the conditions and stuff. So we only started to prepare in December, which is like 6 or 7 months before the contest. So that was a challenge. The time. Then the second challenge was even greater than the first one. Because of the war in Ukraine, Yari could not travel freely. So under the martial law, men under 60, they need special permit to get out of the country. So it was pretty difficult for us to obtain it, but we finally did it with the help of Italian amateur radio league, which called ARI, A-R-I, and also Felipe, IZ1LBG, and at the same time with our Ukrainian amateur radio league. Well, maybe Yarek would tell me who helped us from Ukrainian side.
Yeah, it's from Ukraine. The side help our president of Ukrainian Amateur Radio League. It's Alexander United X37 United, who have good contact with Ministry of Sport, and we have a special permission from Ministry of Sport for go outside of Ukraine only for 10 days.
Okay, let me continue on that. So as you can imagine, most teams or any other team, they didn't have that challenge. So we had to overcome that. The next challenge was that though we knew each other since 2018, since the WRTC in Germany, we have never operated together, unlike some other teams that were at few previous WRTCs, so they knew each other, they like feel each other's shoulder. Anyway, so in that regard, we decided to have a training session, which I've never done before, never at the 7 previous WRTC. So with the help of some of our Ukrainian friends, one of them Slava, US2YW, who got us in touch with Italian guys, IK4VT, Andrea and Claudio, IK2YCW. We were able to travel to Bologna 2 months before the event to take part in their national Italian contest as a training session. So we used the great station of Claudio, IK2YCW, and that was probably another very huge part of our success, because we were able to learn the propagation. We were able to test our equipment, which had a few failures, but we had another 2 months and the golden hands of Yarik, which fixed all the problems. And yes, the failures you asked, we had another failure. First of all, every team had to supply so-called audio box for the referee. The referee was required to monitor our operation 24 hours. So we had to design and build a box that would allow him to listen to both radios at the same time, or to one radio at the time. Yarik designed that box and it looked great. Everything was fine until the 1 hour before the contest. Our referee started to complain that he would lose audio in one of the ears. So Yarik disassembled the box, and I'm telling you, it was exactly 1 hour before the start. And he pulled out soldering iron, Our referee even left the room probably thinking, okay, this team is done,
Yeah.
so nothing's going to happen. But 30 minutes before the contest, Yarik replaced the faulty pot, which was the problem. And let's say 25 minutes before the contest, we were sitting in our chairs, calm and ready to go.
Yeah, it's funny how stuff like that always happens right before you go live. Just right before you click the go button, and you're like, oh, something's gonna break, at that point in time. It seems to never fail. So, well, good. I'm glad you guys were able to overcome that. How is because you guys were the winning team, as I said a minute ago, but how is the scores kept? Is it just simply number of contacts, or do you get points per contact and then multipliers per band and per mode, and how does all that get put together?
Okay, as this WRTC event was at the same time as IARU contest, so we used almost the same scoring system, except by the rules, every organizer has a right to change scoring system. So Italians changed it so that phone contact would count a bit more than CW. That's the way they wanted to boost the phone participation, because traditionally all teams were making more CW contests because it's easier. When you're on low power, you can never get a good run on phone. Actually, it didn't change anything this time. Teams were still were making more CW contests, but the scoring was changed, and also in addition to the headquarter station multipliers which are separate multipliers in this contest. All the WRTC teams had countries, the XCC countries, as additional multipliers. So, in order to maintain a good score, we should focus on rate, which is like more contacts, and also looking for countries and those HQ stations.
And how many countries did you contact? What was the total at the end?
Well, actually, our team had the highest number of multipliers, and combined with headquarters stations, like countries and headquarters together, we had 499. I can't really remember now how many countries separately, how many HQs, but in total we had 499.
Nice. Very fun. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing that you had that many, but that's really fun.
Yeah,
so
we had our strategy. We tried to move needed multipliers from band to band. Let's say some rare multiplier calls me, I make a contact and I ask him, oh, can you move to 28001? We need you on 10. And some of them would move, then Yarik would work that same multiplier, and then he would say, okay, can you move to 21050 because we need you on 15? And we work some 3 or 4 same multipliers in a matter of a couple of minutes. So that was a part of success too.
That's a smart way to do it, because the other station on the other end gets the multiplier also. So he's like, well, yeah, why not? So that's
exactly,
good.
yes.
That's good too. Yeah, good. Well, that is really fun. That sounds like a really fun time you guys had out there, and I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to sit down with you. Did you tell me what was the weather like over there during that whole time? Was it cold, hot? I mean, I don't know what. I guess during this time of year, it's summer over there right now. I think, but this was last month in July, correct?
Correct. That was early July, and you gotta be kidding, mentioning the word cold.
Right.
In Italy, summer in Italy is never cold.
No.
Actually, we were pretty lucky because during the event it wasn't that hot. It was probably in the high 20s by Celsius, which is like 20, 28, 29. But after the event, I spent another week after they went in Italy, and the temperature reached 39 degrees in the shade, in
Wow.
Bologna. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. That's warm right there. 39 degrees Celsius.
Yep.
That's warm. So, okay. Well, I want to say congratulations to you both. I think it's really great that the Ukrainian team won this contest with all the challenges that you guys have been facing over the last couple of years, which has been, kind of a interesting but sad story to watch. Hopefully, that's nearing an end. I don't know what the current status of things are over there with that, but I know that Rig Expert really wanted me to get both of you guys on here to talk about just how they were really proud of the fact that the Ukrainian team won the WRTC because of course they're in Ukraine also. So as you mentioned earlier, but so what are some? Give me each of you. I mean, Yuri, you can go first. Give me your final thoughts about what you thought about the contest, about the situation and everything, and how you feel about preparing for next time, and just what your future outlook is for contests in the future.
Well, first of all, I really would like to thank Rig Expert, the company that was our main sponsor. I mean, it's only because of them we managed to get that training session in Italy. And because since we were a sponsor team, we had to pay some amount of money in order to participate. And Rig Expert not only helped us with that, but they also sponsored our training session, which is great. Saying all that, I should add that I'm a part of Rig Expert myself. I was the first one in North America to promote this business 20 years ago when everything started. And as of today, I worked as one of the distributors and service center Rig Expert USA in Canada. So we're in very close touch with this company. Besides Rig Expert, we had quite a few other sponsors that jumped in. For instance, our very world famous soccer player and coach, Sergey Rebro, who also holds the call of UT5 UDX, P3X, M0 SDX, and other calls. He contributed a lot. Also, our Canadian ham V2 Alpha Echo Denmark and his XYL KM6FOH, they contributed quite a large amount, and they even traveled here to my hometown of Niagara-on-the-Lake to meet with me, and they spent a couple of days. So it was a real pleasure. As a matter of fact, the full list of our sponsors is on Yarik's business website, which is hamdevices.com/WRTC.
Okay.
And I also wanted to thank Yarik because his technical expertise and dedication, that was a huge part of our success. And I also encourage people to look at his website. The company name is Double L. We used the band decoders designed and built by him. And that band decoder also allows us to provide PTT and CW to our radios, PTT and CW control. So you would need to use any external interface. As for our win, of course, we didn't expect to win, though with our experience, I think we really deserved that. But we wanted to promote our native country, Ukraine, which is now fighting for its independence, I would say. And we wanted to keep Ukraine on radars, on world radars, and besides our participation, we distributed probably more than 300 different souvenirs in the form of Ukrainian flag, like pins and fridge magnets. And I personally would like to devote our win to the people of Ukraine.
Very good. Thank you for that. Okay. Yark, go ahead.
Yuri, also before say our problem in the contest, and I'm very good to remember when I sit under the table 30 minutes before the contest. It's for all my life I remember this thing. And also I want to say many thanks to our main sponsors, Rig Expert, and also all guys who help us because now it's very difficult time in Ukraine, and now I'm staying in Ukraine. We every day in my region when I stay, every day 3, 4, 5 times per day we hear the air alarm. It's every day now in our country, and my original place now it's on occupied territory, and now I stay in more safe place. And also I first want to say thank you to Rig Expert again, to Sergey Rebrov, UD5 UDX. I'm also help to Sergey with technical support. His stations from in Kiev and in Moldova, Eco Radio 4 Alpha. All technical support, all remote control. It's do by not myself, but I help to repair antennas, repair equipment, and everything what need. And also, I want to say a big thank you to our referee, Stefano.
Yeah, that's right.
Queen Eco Italy, who very big help us because he know Italian language, and in our place where we stay in this agroturismo hotel, the owner of this hotels know English, but like that that's and Stefano know English very well, and he have a good contact with Yuri. Very quick, all problems or some noise problem. We have a big problem with noise, and Stefano helped to switch off everything, lights, and very big help with found our noise, because on 40 meters, on 80 in the contest, the noise start 9+, and wow. Very difficult to hear. And it's thanks again to Stefano, and also I want to say again thank you to our Ukrainian Amateur Radio League and the Ministry of Sport who helped me. And also we have one referee from Ukraine, Andy, United Whiskey at Sugar Mike, and prepare all documents, and we have permission to go outside of Ukraine. And on this banner, on back side of my bag, and all our sponsors here. This banner also with us in Italy.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe I forget some.
That's okay. That's
guys who help us. For all guys, many thanks.
Sure. Good.
Okay. Yeah. Let me add just one quick note.
Sure.
Of course, I I forgot to mention Stefano IK2QAI, who was our referee, but that was also a big part of our success, because having a local referee on site is a big advantage. He would solve all our problems before the contest, and because we didn't have a site manager, he acted as one. Every problem we had, he would disappear for a while and then come back, problem solved. So, molte grazie. Thank you very much, Stefano. Also, Simonetta, the owner of that Turismo B&B. The lady, she was very helpful. She was trying to feed us as much as she could, and she really couldn't understand why we didn't eat. Why we didn't want to eat, but obviously we didn't want, because, as we mentioned earlier. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations to you both for winning the official contest for WRTC 2022 or 23, whichever one they're officially calling it now. So I'm happy that you guys took the time out today to come on the show and talk about it. It's really good insight to get a behind-the-scenes look at what you guys do. And I hope the two of you who you say you got invited back by default to the next one, so I wish you luck on the next one as well. And you guys stay safe out there. We're all very aware of what's going on in Ukraine right now, so everyone just stay safe, and I hope that that conflict ends for you very soon.
Thank you, Jason. It was our pleasure to be on your channel. Good luck, and see you again.
Okay, good luck. 73 to you both.
73.
Bye-bye.